Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Here Be Dragons. It's me, Stev, and I'm doing this thing again. But as you can see, I'm by myself right now. That is not going to be the case most of the time going forward, but it is the case today. I'm also going to say today is probably not going to be a very long stream. I'm not wanting to get deep into any one topic, but I am like things are going to be different going forward. So yeah, I'm coming back. I'm going to be doing weekly streams, but things are going to shake up. Um, like it might not be on Sunday anymore, even. And as you can tell, I'm an hour earlier than I normally would stream in the past. It fits better with the timing of different things. Other people are now also doing streams that weren't before that I kind of want to steer out of their way and let them do their thing. Notably, Sanrixian, longtime friend of the channel. You guys know that she's a good friend of mine. She does Twitch streaming in about 2 hours from now. So I wanted to be, not stepping on her stream time because honestly, I like to go watch her too. Um, So yeah. But yeah, hi to everybody who's in the chat. I see Blue Lemons and Danny McKay, Kate Bertinsky, Laura's here, Laura Petrocelli, Scott Stark, my brother is here. Um, yeah, so what's going to be different and what's going to be the same? Let's start with what's going to be the same. It's going to be me, and it's probably going to be Nessie a lot too. Um, I'm also going to bring as many of you folks in as I can because honestly, the new direction almost demands it. So, what's the new direction? Uh, Up until this point, we've done about 200 episodes covering nerdy storytelling and pop culture stuff. And, we've talked about movies and TV shows and all kinds of stuff like that. And honestly, I had a great time doing it, but I also wanted to it's not where my heart is anymore. Most of you here now know me as a Dungeons and Dragons guy, as a tabletop RPG guy. So that's the new direction. We're going to talk about D&D stuff. A lot of it is probably going to come back to talking about my specific game world, the people that I play with, and what they enjoy about playing in my game world, in an effort to make sort of like that knowledge more accessible to everyone. A lot of times people are like, oh, tell me about the religion, tell me about the city state. And I tell the same thing 7 or 8 times. And some stuff changes over time, of course, but just an opportunity to get those thoughts out in a more permanent fashion. I'm terrible at writing things down. Sitting at a computer typing is torture to me. So I don't want to do that. But sitting here and talking about it, especially with someone who has some idea about what they're talking about because they've experienced firsthand a little bit. So yeah, hopefully over the coming weeks and months, what I'm going to do is have all of you guys that I play D&D with come on, talk about your experience playing the game, talk about what are the things from my game world that you enjoy? What are some of the things that you think need more attention? I'm also probably going to do some sideboard world building projects. I've talked to a couple of friends uh, about doing more world building for some more extreme, or not extreme, but well, yeah, extreme or different settings, homebrew style settings for D&D, Wild West or Victorian era or First World War or something like that. Something that requires, history and thinking about socioeconomics and whatnot. It can be a lot of fun, and to have that out there for other people who maybe wanted to try a game set in that setting. If I do the work and put it out there, Yeah, that would be great. So yeah, this is going to be a tabletop RPG channel going forward. That being said, I don't think John Webster will continue to be a co-host here. You guys all know I love John to death. He's a great dude, and I would happily have him as a guest anytime if he wanted. But John doesn't play D&D. John doesn't care about D&D. So he will probably not appear anymore on Here Be Dragons. He has restarted his own YouTube channel, John Webster Film, and he has a new co-host, Jared Kozal, and they're doing great stuff over there. So John has got his own thing up and running, and he's got his own new co-host, and they are off to the races. And you guys should go check them out. I will continue to give nothing but love and support to John and Jared going forward. Those guys are great. And if I'm lucky, when they finally decide to cover, something I'm very passionate about, they'll have me as a guest. Yeah. So what are people saying in the chat? I want to hear about the multi-level marketing opportunities in my game world. Potter, I'm going to have you on and we're going to talk about that. We will, because the stories about it are just too good. I also wanted to make sure I said hi to Lady Maura Lee. Thanks for stopping by. Says you're going back to work. I also hope everyone is doing well. I am doing okay, all things being equal. Blue Lemon says no thoughts, only Keira Knightley and film scores. That is accurate. Kate, I would like. Nobody has ever heard more about Cutco than I have. I promise you that. I have to play into that sometimes. Like Cutco is a real thing; it does exist. And yeah, it's a multi-level marketing campaign run by Potter's character. For those of you that don't know. But, I've spent 20 years developing this game world. It has geopolitics. It has an economic structure. It has, like, cultural variation just across the one region. So there's a lot of information about, those particulars that people that play in my game world, and there are a lot of you, I feel like it would be great if you had access to that. And, part of the way I want to drive that conversation is to have you as one of my players come on and share your personal experiences with me. So like, yeah, if you're a player in one of my games and you want to share your thoughts, just you guys know how to find me. I'm not that hard to find. If you're watching this video out there in YouTube land and they don't know you yet, hi, I'm Stev. I'm a dungeon master. I'm a professional dungeon master. There's a link down in the description to hire me on startplaying.games. If you want me to be your DM, I promise you, I put a lot of effort into it. Like most of the people that are here in the chat, there was 11 of you at one point. It looks like there's 9 now. But most of you play games with me. Most of you know I'm a pretty dedicated dungeon master. I have a lot of great reviews on there. Hire me to be your DM is what I'm saying. Yeah, if like there's a lot of people that just want an outlet to talk about the game, and I want to be an opportunity for that, because it's what I want to do. I've been doing the pro DM thing for about 8 months now, and I would really like to make more money doing it, but at least it's something I love, and that helps a lot. So yeah. Other things that we will talk about is not just the game, but I'll probably also discuss news around the game. Like when Wizards of the Coast had the OGL scandal some time back. They, we talked about that. When the Dungeons and Dragons movie came out on streaming, we did a stream about that. I really think maybe I want to talk about Baldur's Gate 3 at some point as well. For those of you that don't know, Baldur's Gate 3 is the best video game RPG probably ever made, in my opinion. Granted, best is a very subjective thing, and yeah, I'm being a little bit hyperbolic, but it's fantastic. So if you haven't played it, play it. And if you just want to hear me ramble about how good it is at some point, let me know and we'll do that. Kate says she needs another D&D movie focused on Jonathan. That guy has a story I can just tell. Yeah, like I want to know what delayed him. He said he was caught in the storm, but like storm giant? Maybe. Laura says the streams I did in the past where I played BG3 were always enjoyable and a lot of fun. Yeah, and that was the early access stuff. Like the full game is so much better. So much better. So yeah, like now I'm gonna throw it to you lot, and I told you this is gonna be a short one, so I don't know that I have a whole lot of else to say, although I will stick around for a moment to hear some feedback. What are some of the things that you feel like I should talk about first? And things that like that are sort of on the short list are religion and culture, as well of like my main setting in my game world, as well as like a broad overview of the full history of my game world from as far back as I have things written up to sort of a more modern world. Also, is there a guest I should get? Because like anybody I play D&D with is fair game, but I also got to tell you, like, there are plenty of great people out there that maybe some of you play D&D with that I don't have an opportunity to, that would be a great guest. One person that comes to mind that I've seen on different streams is Tana Ford. I'd love to have Tana Ford as a guest on my stream, but like at the same time, I've like played one adventure with her ever, and I wasn't the dungeon master. We were just both players. That's too good not to put up on the screen. Blue Through the Window, a memoir by Jonathan. Also, happy birthday, Blue Lemons. Today is your birthday. Happy 29th birthday, buddy. I know it's not actually your 29th birthday, but you're never wrong if you tell a woman she's turning 29. But yeah, it's also if those of you who know Little Wolfbird, who is a part of the A Song of Ice and Fire fan community that most of us are also part of, it's their birthday as well. So happy birthday, Little Wolfbird. Right. Been 29 for years now. Guilty Undertaker's birthday was just a couple of days ago. And I hope you don't mind me outing you, buddy, but I know you hit 4 decades. What I'm looking forward to is my birthday this year. I will be a perfect square. That's right. I will be 7 times 7. I've been a square most of my life, but I'm going to be a perfect square again for the first time in over a decade. And like I've said it before, when I get to 50, I'm going to start counting down. Like I'm going to get to 50 and start going backwards. But anyway, yeah, I'm not going to just fill dead air with me making stupid jokes about getting older. So yeah, I'm going to have a guest lined up for next week. We're going to come at the same time next week, although the time slot may change, just depends on what the reaction is like. And But if any of you have a preference for, like, I would like to hear about the history of your game world, or I would like to understand more about the sort of like culture and local politics going on in the main area that most of my games are set, or talk about the dominant religion that covers that area, like, y'all let me know which of those you would prefer first. And I know, like, there's a handful of you that are here live. Some other people will watch this later. Just leave it in the comments or contact me on Twitter or Blue Sky. I'm Stev0, at Stev0 on Blue Sky. Stev with the numeral 0. I think that's me on Blue Sky. I don't have it in the description yet. I have a thing I copy paste for the description. I haven't put my Blue Sky in there because I got Blue Sky after I quit streaming for 3 months. But I'm on there now, and I am Stev0, STEV number 0.bsky.social, if you want to follow me there. Maybe history set the foundation. The Rita system is cool, but may not make as much sense without the socio-historical context. Says the person that says chronological age is just a conspiracy. So, like, you're really sending me mixed signals here, buddy. You're really sending me mixed signals. But, like, your argument for history makes sense. How to start DMing or world building for DMing. That's not a bad idea either. People get intimidated by it. It's so much easier to do, maybe even these days, than it used to be, because there's, like, people who already make like that sort of content, how to become a better DM. Of course, I would not hesitate to add my own voice to the chorus. I'm not saying I'm got better or worse ideas than anybody else. And I am a middle-aged white man. There are a few things I love so much as, like, making my opinion known to the rest of the world. So yeah, I could probably do that. I think it's not as hard as people think it is. Because really, like, to be a good dungeon master, I think the number one skill to develop is your improvisational skills. How do the economics work in my world? That is an interesting question, one that we will get to. Because it works different in different places, obviously. Some are quasi feudal, some are closer to capitalism. There are places that are well, it is a fantasy setting, so, like, you're not going to have advanced economic systems, but, like, different places produce different goods, and that has an effect on the local culture, even within, like, a specific region. So yeah, like, the economics work by threat of implied violence, along with, like, interdependence on different resources. Not every place has access to every type of resource, and so you have to trade or raid in order to get access to it. And sorry, the chat caught my eye for a second. Yeah, so, like, it's complicated, a lot more than I get into here. But yeah, like in Iandros, which is sort of like the main setting in my game world, which is like maybe half the size of the United States, if you have the map, then, you know, like, there's still a huge amount of variation in each different sort of sub-region trades with the others for what they need, or bullies the others to get what they need, that sort of thing. Okay, did someone say improv? Yes, I did. Laura, I think you might be a decent DM if you ever really wanted to try it. Because, I mean, there is a certain amount of needing to know the rules, but just keeping the story rolling is huge to being a good dungeon master. And like some of that comes from having a broad knowledge of other stories to draw on. Because there is not a good dungeon master out there that has not straight up stolen from Star Wars or Dune or Star Trek or Lord of the Rings or Conan the Barbarian or something. I have done it 1,000 times. If you steal from one source, that's plagiarism. If you steal from 1,000, it's inspiration. So, like, I think the number one thing that makes a good dungeon master is that you experience a lot of different stories and a lot of different characters in those stories. Like, you don't always watch just the hero's journey. Watch the anti-hero story. Watch the sympathetic bad guy's story. Watch the mustache twirling villain story. Watch the story where there is no good or bad, where the enemy is nature or like, you know, something outside the control of humanity, and how does that affect people. So like, yeah, there's a lot of places that good dungeon mastering can come from, but what makes a good dungeon master is that when you show up at the table, no matter how prepared you are, you have to be able to like throw everything away and give the players what they want in the moment based on what decisions they make in the moment. Yeah. Yes, Stev 0. God, I hope that's a THACO AC 0. Because if it's not, I'm in a lot of trouble. Anything else? Not much going on in the chat anymore. Okay, so guys, I think that's enough for this session. I really want to say thank you for everybody who, stopped by live. It's actually quite a few more of you here than I anticipated. Oh, hey, man, I was just signing off. It is a short one. I encourage you to go back and watch the whole thing. It's only like 20 minutes. But yeah, so like it's just kind of a quick overview of where I want to go in the future. We'll be back next week. I'm not sure exactly what the exact topic will be, but it's going to be one of the three things I laid out earlier, which is either the history of my game world or the religion of the main region or the sociopolitics of the main region. So yeah, you guys let me know which of those you prefer. I've heard one vote for the history, which is great. It's a great place to start. Thank you, Blue Lemons. It's nice to feel like doing it again. I will sign off with this because I always wanted to. To not hide from it. I was pretty clear over the last couple times I streamed that I was having a lot of difficulty with my mental health, and I am still struggling with that. If I'm being honest, I've had some ups and downs with it over the last few months. I haven't streamed because I have been totally uninspired to do anything. But it is nice to be back, even if this is only going to be like a 30-minute stream. Like, it's nice to like feel like doing it again and to have something in the future that I want to actually talk about. Yeah, so that is very nice. And again, to everybody that came by, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate the support all of you have continued to show me through my absence over the last few months. But yeah, come back next week. We'll talk some D&D. We'll talk some world building, and I'm going to try really hard to have one of my friends join me. I know Julie here, this person here whose name you can't read, but that's Julie, has said that she'll come on anytime I need her. And I know a lot of you have said a lot of similar things. But yeah, come play D&D with me. Hire me to be your dungeon master. Go watch John over on John Webster Film. Continue to do the sort of like movie analysis, TV analysis that we used to do. And then go watch my good friends Kate and Laura here do their Gilmore Girls podcast, The Gilmore Way, every Friday night. I love those guys. And yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. So that being said, peace and be excellent to each other. Am I still gonna say that at the end? It feels like I should, right? Feels like I should. Like I should start it and finish it the same way still. This way it's still me. So guys, I love you all. We'll see you next week. Peace and be excellent to each other.